Hey people, good morning. It's Trevor here again, and it's Friday morning's devotional. We're talking about Jesus, the Good Shepherd. Yesterday we spoke about the fact that if He's the Good Shepherd, that makes us the sheep, and I ended with a very bad joke. Sorry about that. It's really Friday morning, for goodness sake, give me a break. Okay, anyway, we're talking about the Good Shepherd and us being who we are, but there's a magnificent verse, John 15 verse 3. It says this: "Greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." Jesus laid down his life for his sheep. And we're told that. The Bible is very clear about his amazing love, willing to go to the extent to lay down his life for his sheep. But this word life is an interesting word. In the Greek language, there are three words for the word life. The first aspect of life that Jesus laid down is the life that he laid down on the hill of Calvary, where he was nailed to a cross, and it's called the bios life, from which we get the word biology, which is the physical body, and Jesus laid that down. They took that beautiful body of the Son of God, they put a crown of thorns on it, they stuck a spear in his side, they hammered him to a cross, and he died. He laid down his bios life. But then there's a second word that they use for life, and that is the word Zoe life, which is the word that we speak about Jesus saying, "I've come to give life and to come and give it more abundantly." Jesus understands abundant life because for eternity past and eternity future, he has lived that to the full. He has sat in a sense with the right hand of God the Father in the magnificence of this Trinity that we talk about, and he lived the abundant life. God himself, the worship and adoration of angels and angelic beings and the heavenly hosts, and there was nothing he could not do. He had total power, he still has it, but he laid down that life as well for us. Jesus left the abundance of the Zoe life in heaven to live down here on earth. And a shepherd is an intriguing theme as we see through the scriptures. Shepherds were people who had high risk but low pay. You know, they were told to risk their lives and they get nothing for it. And you look at the shepherd's life, and it was not a happy, abundant kind of a life in the sense that we think of abundance. It was high risk and low pay. It was high responsibility. If you were a worker and you looked after somebody's sheep, you were held incredibly responsible. In fact, in the book of Amos, I found this intriguing passage. Where in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 12, if a shepherd was in the field and he came back having lost one of his sheep, the owner of the sheep would say, "I want proof that that sheep was taken by a lion or by a wolf or something." And he had to bring back 2 legs and an ear to prove the crisis. And the shepherd came back with his 2 legs and an ear, and he said, "This is the living proof, the dead proof of the living fact that I'm telling you, I lost one of your sheep." He had to prove it. It was a job of high risk, high responsibility, low place in life. If you could do pretty much nothing else, you'd probably end up in a shepherd, and low pay at that. Who on earth would want to be a shepherd, with those being your job credentials or your job type, job description? I don't know, but Jesus took on that role as a shepherd for us. He laid down his bios life, his physical life. He laid down his ego. He laid down his everything, that there he was, the King of Kings, and he condescended to become a shepherd of the sheep in this world. How low can you go? And Jesus went that low for us. And then the last word that we have of Jesus using is the word for life, that is the word psyche. Psyche, you know, in the Garden of Gethsemane, psyche is your soul. It's your inner being, it's your personality, it's everything that is inside, it's your passion, it's who you are. And in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed so hard that even he poured out his soul for mankind. He sweat drops of blood for us. Man, that's an incredible, sacrificial, gift that he gave to us. Not just his physical body, but he laid down the glory of what it meant to live in heaven and the abundance of what that life and our greatest extent of imagination, we could never imagine it, but Jesus laid that down. And then in the garden, Jesus poured out his heart for mankind and for his sheep. Jesus wept over Jerusalem and said, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, if only you had turned to me." Like a chicks would run to their mother. I wanted you to do that, but you did not do that. You killed the prophets. And Jesus poured out his soul for mankind. So on a score of all three types of life, Jesus laid them all down. I want you to think about that as you go into the weekend. I want you to listen to this beautiful song that speaks of the sacrifice of Christ on our behalf. And remember, it wasn't just a physical life. It was his abundant life in heaven, and it was his soulish life right here on earth as well. That's what we call a total sacrifice.
Shepherd of my soul, I give you full control. Wherever you may lead, I will follow. I have made the choice to listen for your voice. Wherever you may lead, I will go. Be it in a quiet pasture or by a gentle breeze, the shepherd of my soul is by my side. Should I face a mighty mountain or valley dark and deep, the shepherd of my soul